believe it or not, way back in the 90s, I was a model. It is true. And because the trends are recycling themselves once again, I thought it might be hilariously awesome to see if I can recreate some of those looks, not only refashioning and upcycling what I already have, but also redo the photos as well. So it should be absolutely fantastic. I have lots of oldie but goodie modeling pics, so do let me know if you want me to make this a series. And by the way, I'm a Refashionista Sheri, and I show you how to use what you have to make what you want. So let's revisit the 90s and get making. I've had this jean jacket for quite a while, and it's very cool because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets. Like, that's absolutely fantastic. But the sleeves are oddly small and very short. So it's just kind of been hanging there on my extra jackets rack. So I think it's time we do something with it. And to make these sleeves actually fit, we're going to get rid of them. And this is a no-sew project. So grab your scissors, grab that old jean jacket, and let's get making. So put your jacket inside out, and then you just want to cut off the sleeves as close to that thick seam as possible without going over it. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave that seam. We got to get the sleeves off first and then try it on and see if it's better to leave them or chop them off. So I don't really like how biker chic this is turning out to be. So I think I'm going to cut off a rather generous amount here, which will totally take off this part that is sticking up and making it look very boxy. So to chop off the other armhole area here, you can fold your vest in half and try to line everything up as evenly as you can get it. But I prefer to use the chopped bit from the first side. And you see it has this seam, which should match this seam. This goes here. This goes here. So you can just puzzle everything together so it matches up pretty well. And if you want, of course, then pin it in place so it doesn't slide around. And then just go and chop that following the line. The denim vest in my original photo doesn't have a collar, so I'm just going to take my collar off here, and I'm going to use a seam ripper and see what it looks like underneath there. But if you want to, you can just chop yours off. Well, that doesn't look very great, so I think I'm just going to chop it here to clean up that very uneven looking edge. The vest in the original photo has a really deep V-neck, but I don't want to cut this right now because maybe I want to wear it without a deep V-neck. So I'm just going to fold it in like that for the photo recreation. And you know what? Let's get to it. It's me again, just popping in to remind you that perfection is the enemy of good enough. And so if that is what is stopping you or slowing you down from refashioning everything you own, come on, don't let it. Everybody starts somewhere. I started when I was 38 and inherited a very, very vintage machine, and I still have the very first project I ever made, just so I can remember how I started, not having a clue about stitches or fabrics or anything like that. And now look at me. I show you every single week how you truly can use what you have to make what you want. So just do it, and don't forget to subscribe, because I put out new videos every single week. And you know what? Here you go. Another look at my absolutely amazing very first project. I've had this fabric for more than a few years because I got it to create a alien-esque Halloween costume for my kiddo, but then we decided to go in a different direction, so it's just sat in my stash ever since. Luckily, it is very similar to the fabric that the dress was made out of in my 90s photo, so we're going to use it. Unfortunately, there's not enough of it for me to simply fold it in half, create a neckline, and then add a couple of easy side seams to make an easy shift dress like I did out of the pashmina scarf. If you missed that, I will put the tutorial down below for you. So you know what? We're going to stitch this into a tube and then we're going to go from there. So I have my tube inside out and I'm literally just going to take off my t-shirt because it's very baggy, and I'm going to use that to figure out where I need to have my head hole opening as well as my armholes. So I'm just going to grab a couple pins. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect at all. We're recreating a 90s look. It's not, it's nothing very serious right now. So I'm going to put a pin there. And then I'm going to grab another pin and just put it on the other side. So now I know that I can stitch outward from these two pins, and that will leave my wonderful head opening open there. So I have the two neckline seams stitched, and you can see clearly I don't want to have this bulky fabric here, so I'm going to have to round off the shoulders as well. But before I do that, I'm just going to pop a pin at the top of one of the sleeves as well as at the bottom here on the underarm seam, and then that should give me a pretty good idea of where I need to stitch and cut in order to create my arm openings. Then all I have to do is fold it in half and use this finished side as a template to finish off the other side. So let's just do it. So just so no one gets their panties in a bunch, I just want to show you that I did stitch this very, very strongly, first with a straight stitch, and then I went over the seam with a tight wide zigzag, simply because this fabric is very, very thin and I do not want it to come apart. Plus it's really stretchy, and that zigzag really does allow it that bit of stretch needed to get on and off of my head. Now I'm going to chop off this excess with my fabulous pinking shears, and this really does help to prevent fraying. These have been around for literally generations, so they absolutely do work. To do the other side, just fold it in half and make sure your neckline end seams are lined up, and then just to pop a pin there where you need your shoulder seam to start, and then following it down here where I need my shoulder seam to end, and then just go do the entire process on the other side. For this hopefully a quick and easy hoodie upsizing project, all you need is your two small hoodie and some kind of fabric that coordinates well with the hoodie to use for your upsizing inserts. So I have my hoodie inside out, and I'm going to open up the side seams on both sides of the hoodie from the bottom hem all the way up through the sleeve cuff, so the entire sides will be opened. And my hoodie is now totally opened up on both sides, and it's time to move on to creating the upsizing panels. Clearly first I had to decide which strip of granny squares on this little baby blanket I wanted to use, and I'm going to go with the ones that have the most blue in them, so it matches perfectly with my hoodie. All you are doing is chopping through the area here, let's see if I can get close enough, where it is attached, and then you're going to be left with totally finished edges on your granny squares, so you don't have to worry about fraying. And so that's all I'm going to do is go and chop through these, whoops, little tiny stitches here where it's all attached. I mean, you can see it wants to come apart, right? Like you could actually just pull them apart right now if you want to take the time to just undo this little stitch here. So I'm going to go do that on both of my panels, and then we're going to attach it to the hoodie. I have my two lovely side panels all chopped out, and the edges are not fraying, perfect. And these are each 6 granny squares long, so let's get them into the hoodie. As you can see, I am starting at the cuff of one side of my hoodie, and I'm putting it with the right sides facing with my granny square length here. And then I'm just going to go and stitch it all the way down through to the bottom hem, and that'll be one of my side panels done. Then I'm going to repeat it with the other side of the sleeve cuff all the way down, and do the whole thing on the other side again. I mean, it's pretty easy to add side panels, so let's just do it. It is all stitched together, and you can see here I did first a tight straight stitch, and then I went over top of that with a tight wide zigzag because I don't have a fancy serger, and I just find doing this helps to prevent fraying, and of course it means it's super extra sturdy and stitched together super strong now. So let's flip it right side out. How totally adorable does that look? The sides are definitely wide enough to fit me now. Okay, you have to be honest with me and let me know which one of these you think I recreated the best, and also which one you think you will try with your own wardrobe. Because again, all of these styles are coming back. You just gotta scroll social media and they're all there already. And if you want, also let me know what is your absolutely favorite style from the 90s and what is something that you never want to see come back again. But I'm sure they're probably all already back. And if you want to go even deeper, I highly recommend joining my wardrobe revolution at refashionistasherry.com. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, you can become part of my Refashionista crew and get all of my awesome behind the scenes content, as well as my sustainable style workshop. So you know what? Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag.
Subscribe to my mom's channel, follow her on social media, and buy her ebooks. Yay! Thank you!
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.